The first thing to do is determine your personal year number. If you haven't already, watch the video that I posted about how to calculate your personal year number, and then you can choose which number to watch from these videos. All right, let's go into 4. Double 4. The universal number this year is 4, which is a number of stability. And you are a 4 this year. What does that look like? So we have the 1, the universal all, infinity, everything's possible. There's no relativity. It's just that point before things really kick off and start to manifest, but nothing is manifested yet. Then the 2s. The 2s are relativity. Something is set into motion. Now there's something to work with. There's something to compare yourself to. There's something to add into your life to give yourself some perspective. Then we've got the 3. 3 is what is the birth. It's the me, you, us. You see, you've given birth to a third thing once you add the 3, and that makes all other creation possible. And once you get to the 4, and here's what's so cool about the 4, is you start to be able to make, before in the sacred geometry with the 3, you can only make triangles. Triangles are wonderful, but try to balance a plate on a triangle, right? But once you get to 4, look what this magical thing happens. Once you get to 4, you get the birth of a square. Isn't that fantastic? Now we have a square. Now we have stability. So your energy this year is double stability. So this is a year where maybe things are really coming together for you. Maybe this is a year where you are really feeling in your power, in your flow. You have achieved at a certain level that enables you to keep moving forward without too much rocking your boat. It can really be a year where you can have success in all that you're doing. You can it's kind of it's not really a completion, but it's just like, you're building your house. Look, I want to show you this. This will be kind of nice. Take these points. I mean, a little bit of a metaphor. Ta-da! There's your house. The house sits on the foundation of 4 walls. It's just this wonderful, stable energy. Now, I do caution you that the 4 can also be stubborn. So look out for getting into a rut this year, because that could be a trap you could fall into with this 4 energy. Let's see what else we can do here. Yeah. In the tarot, the number 4 in the major arcana is the Emperor. The Emperor is in charge. He runs his empire to serve the Emperor. He doesn't want anything to change because everything works for the Emperor. He's the Emperor, right? So if anything changes, that could challenge what he likes, which is his stability, his control, his own empire. So the Emperor is a wonderful energy to be in if you're the Emperor, but if something comes at you that needs to change, you have to check yourself and make sure that you're not just using your ego to keep things from changing because everything is feeling so good, and why rock the boat? Be aware that you could be trapped in this energy this year. It's a wonderful energy to be in as long as everything's going well, but also be warned that things could, if chaos ensues, you have to be ready to make some to make some changes. I mean, it's nice and comfy to sit here all, balanced and sitting in your seat, but it might be necessary for you to take a look at what else is possible in this situation so that you could create something that it might not look or feel as stable to you, but it could be what's needed in the situation. Or even this. I mean, the emperor might have to make something like this, God forbid. I mean, this is just putting everything at risk, isn't it? Look at that. Imagine having to balance on this. The emperor, though, this is all coming from the 4, right? This shape, this exact angle and this exact shape is not possible until we get to the 4. And it can only come from the emperor's energy. So if you're getting my metaphor, what I'm saying is that the emperor, you being in the stable place, now must have the courage to expand when necessary and to get to something that might feel less stable. You're sitting on the lovely ground at this level, but what might be required is to sit on the lovely ground at a new, more dangerous, not dangerous, what am I trying to say? More courageous, more creative perspective of where you have been operating, because now you can. You could not have done this. You could not have taken the risks that you will be able to take this year because you weren't stable enough to even be able to manifest new risks. Now you have reached this level of stability where you're being challenged to go beyond what you thought was possible. Yeah, that's it. This year, you're feeling good. Everything's going well, and the universal energy is on your side as well. So you're being challenged to enjoy it, use it, but be cautioned not to get stuck in it. Be willing to look beyond and see what more could be possible. So my friend, I just wanted to thank you for watching and show you some of this art that I've been making, because it is so, it is sacred geometry, this art that I make. I started making this kind of art partly because of my passion for sacred geometry, because it's this style of art where it's basically mandala making, which is a geometric practice. You start with the eye of God at the center and you build, this is beeswax and pine pitch pressed into, and then you take tiny glass beads and press it into the beeswax pine pitch mixture. This is on a capiz shell. And this is a necklace or just a kind of a mandala ornament. And it's using the geometry of, moving out from the 1 to the 6 and, spreading from there. It exponentially grows and the pattern becomes more complex the further out you go from the middle, just like how we did in our geometry today, where the 1 is a relatively simple concept. These are earrings, and the further away from 1 you get, the more complex the geometry is. See, and then you get into big items like this. Like you could just look at this. Oh, here's me in the mirror. You could just look at the center of one of these, and it's a reasonably simple image, but when you start to grow, when you take that as the center and you start to grow the pattern out, you see how it just becomes more and more. Take the center of one of these motifs, for example, and the further away you get from the center, the more complex it is. And that's how we are as people, right? The more interesting we are, the more we evolve as humans from just, eaters into thinking and spiritual beings, the more complex the pattern is out from the center. And this one is actually already sold, but I'm going to be making much more of these. And all these things are in my Etsy shop and more. And I have sold a lot over Christmas time, so the store's a little bit skimpy right now, but you can get to it through angelinetarot.com or through just directly to Etsy, etsy.com/shop/eyeofgodart. So thank you for watching that little commercial. I hope you enjoyed my little numerology for you for the coming year through the sacred geometry. Yes, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful 2020. Why am I trying to just show everything? I don't know. I'm a cornball. Yep. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful 2020. Happy New Year.